Hello guys, so my name's Antonio Gabriel. I have started a YouTube channel. You see, I can't even believe I'm doing this. This is good. This is good because this is definitely something I've always wanted to do. My content is going to be all about fitness. Um, my aim is to build an audience, to motivate, to share my experiences, and to guide as well. So yeah, I'm going to share all of that, and hopefully you can like my videos, you can watch them, share them, subscribe. I think I said that way too prematurely. You haven't even seen my first content, but if you do like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. So let's get straight into it. 5 steps on how to get started in the gym, okay? 5 simple steps you can follow, realistic, practical, and this video is aimed at complete novice, okay? People that have no experience in the gym at all, okay? First timers or second or third timers, and what I mean by second or third timers is people that literally have been to the gym maybe once or twice in their life and then just aborted mission. So yeah, this is literally for the complete beginners, people that have no idea, no clue where to start. So step number 1, simple step, identifying why you want to go to the gym. Literally just figure out why you want to go to the gym and what it is you want to do, okay? So for instance, it could be the most common one I would imagine would be losing weight. I want to go to the gym because I want a healthier lifestyle and I want to lose weight. It could be to build strength. You may have issues in certain parts of your body and you just want to build strength and get a bit stronger. It could be build a muscle. Hey, look, listen, I was a skinny kid in school and I want to gain some size and build some strength. It could be a various things, just a healthier lifestyle. You're getting older and you've got issues. It could even be medical issues. You might be diabetic, you might be obese. It could be anything. So what is your reason? What's your purpose? And the reason why you need to identify this first is because this will be your foundation. This will be your core. This will be your sort of guide into what you're going to do in the gym and how you're going to do it. Step number 2, okay? Step number 2 is probably, I would say, the most time consuming, but worth it. And step number 2 is research and make a plan. So there's a saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that basically means if you don't plan, you're basically destined to fail. Let's break this down. What I mean by researching is, first of all, you've already identified what you want to do, okay? Why you're going to the gym and what it is you're trying to do, right? There's a lot of information out there on YouTube, Instagram, and you can just go old school, just go on a search engine and type in how to lose weight. You see things like calorie deficit, trying to understand what that is, what that takes to do, how to implement that in your life, that sort of stuff there. So just general research. It doesn't have to be completely thorough, but it's just general research, just so you have some sort of template or guidance on how to now achieve what your purpose is, basically, what your goal is. Also be careful because there is a lot of information out there, again, YouTube, Instagram, and the internet. However, pick what works for you, pick what looks realistic for you, pick what works for you, and just do some general research. And then the plan, how do I plan? Simple. So piece of paper, old school. I still prefer to write things in a pen and paper. I love using my pen and paper. I don't really like typing notes on my laptop, but whatever works for you. And you want to just basically build a schedule, okay? Your schedule may consist of working from Monday to Friday and you've got the weekend off, okay? So you might do a conventional 9 to 5. So what works for you? Do you want to go gym in the morning? Would you prefer to go after work? In the evening? Would you prefer to go on the weekends? Literally just a schedule. That's all a planning is, a schedule, okay? This is what I'm going to do, right? This is my current schedule. This is how I'm going to implement my new lifestyle into this schedule, yeah? So like I said, I'm going to pop something up in the screen and just show you an example of that. As a beginner in the gym, I would advise for you to try and make it 3 days a week minimum. It's entirely up to you what you want to do, but just because I believe in getting into the rhythm and you want to see progress as quickly as possible, as quickly as possible. So 3 days a week, there's 7 days out of the week, you got 3 days a week, even if it's for an hour, I don't think that's too much to ask for. So do what works for you, of course. Maybe some people can only do the weekends. It's a start. At least you're in the gym. However, I would recommend 3 days a week. I think it's easy. It's easy to implement in your lifestyle if you've got the time for it. And it's just consistent. It doesn't allow you to slack. You miss this day, you go the next day. You miss that day, you go the next day. It's nice and patterned. Step number 3, finding your gym. Okay. Now I know this sounds simple, but there's 3 things I will consider when looking for gyms. Okay, the first thing is your budget. Okay, the second thing is the location, and the third is the opening and closing time. Budget. Let's talk about budget. So, as you probably know, there are different types of gyms. Yeah, that offer different types of equipments and facilities. Right. So you can go to a gym, for instance, that has a swimming pool. It's got a sauna. It's got a steam room, showers, towels, different floors, all sorts of fancy stuff. And that's totally fine if you want to go to that type of gym. However, it will cost you, it'll be very expensive. So it wouldn't make sense for someone that doesn't have a large budget to look for a gym like that. For example, a student, if you're a student, you're watching this now, just because the gym has got all these fancy facilities and all these great recovery facilities, like a sauna, for example, or like a steam room, I wouldn't, especially if it's my first time consistently going to the gym, I wouldn't go for that first, I would go for a more simple, a bit more commercial gym. So you want to find the right gym for you. You want to, first of all, refer back to your research, which was step number 2, and then go back to the gym and think what's necessary, okay? What's necessary for you? What gym works for you? Because you don't need to spend an arm and a leg. Now, if you are that kind of person that, likes those kind of things and believe you need it, then by all means go for it too. I'm not saying don't do it at all. I'm just saying just watch your budget and don't be unnecessary, okay? Realistic. If your budget is this amount or that amount, find a gym accordingly, okay? People don't think about these things. They go to a gym, they have an induction there, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to sign up for this gym, and then later down the line, actually, I can't really afford it. So bear that in mind, please. I think people let that go over their head. Okay, then the second thing is location. Location is very important, and there's pros and cons to locations, I'll give you an example. So I frequently go to the gym close to where I live. The problem with that is I tend to see a lot of people that I know. And sometimes these AirPods, it's almost like it's invisible to them. People don't understand. I just want to work out. I just want to do my workout, record, and go home. You understand? I don't want to talk. I don't have a lot of time to talk. Not because I'm being snobbish or whatever. It's just that sometimes I want to stay focused and sometimes I just don't have the time. So bear that in mind. If you do choose to go to a local gym, you may see people that you know and it may be a little bit distracting. However, there's also a pro to that. And the pro to that is it's local. So it's very convenient for you. Meaning that you don't have to take no transport to go to the gym. You can go for a walk, burn off a little bit of calories before you get to the gym. That's always good, right? And also, I guess time is a bit more on your side, because you've got the morning to go. Before you go to work, you can just go to the gym down the road, for instance. Or you can go after work. Once you've come home, you've finished off whatever you need to do, you can go straight to the gym. So there are pros and cons, but, you need to just think about those things. Another example is you may find a gym next to your workplace. Some people spend, the majority of us, if you've got like a conventional 9 to 5, spend a lot of our time at work. So it might make more sense for you to find a gym around your workplace. Perhaps you can get to work a little bit earlier and go to the gym. Or what I've seen people do is perhaps go to the gym on your lunch break. You've got an hour to spare, you can go straight to the gym. I don't advise that, but if that's what you have to do to make it work, then do what you need to do. The reason why I don't advise that is because you're too short for time. You're too pressed for time, and you don't want to rush, especially if you're a newbie in the gym because you're still learning. But if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do, for instance. And then after work as well, as soon as work is done, some people, once they get home from work, once they get home from work, they don't want to leave the house. They may not have the motivation to leave the house, so it might make sense for them once they finish work to go straight to the gym so that they get it out of the way, So location is a big thing, Do you want to travel? If you do travel, is it going to cost you money? Because that's also an additional expense of your gym membership too. So bear that in mind. Do you want somewhere where you can walk? That's a bit local. If you do, just remember you're going to see people that you may know that might be distracting, or that might help you, that might make you feel comfortable. It just depends. So I want you to consider location, okay? Another thing, think about opening and closing time. See, this is another thing people don't consider, or they may take for granted, My schedule is unorthodox, meaning that it differs from day to day, right? So I can't go to a gym that's open, for instance, at 6 a.m. and closes at 8 p.m. It's not going to work for me, because I could decide to go to the gym at 10 p.m. in the night once I'm done with my day. So I need a gym that's flexible and fits my schedule, okay? So you want to find a gym that fits your schedule. Some people are fine. I mean, there's some nice gyms out there that open at decent times and close at decent times, maybe 9 p.m., 8 p.m., whatever. And if that works for you, that's fantastic. But for example, if you're young and you have a part-time job and you currently study, I would advise to pick a gym that's flexible to your needs, you know, a gym that is 24 hours, you can go there any time of the day, and it's just easy to access, you know. I would recommend that. Figure out those things there, okay? So budget, location, and opening and closing time. You want it to work around your schedule, okay? Step number 4, this is one of my favorite steps, okay? Clothes, yeah, gym outfits. Who doesn't love looking good? Who doesn't love matching and coordinating? New squatting shoes, new trainers, new running trainers. He doesn't like looking good, you know. But you're a beginner, yeah. Again, I'm talking to the complete novice. I'm talking to beginners. Remember this, yeah. Comfortability comes first, okay. Let's not go overboard. Let's stick to a budget as well. Let's prioritize being comfortable, okay. And what I mean by that is, I would advise you to not try and fit in. You know, you don't have to get the household name brands like Gymshark or Nike or the typical stuff that everyone gets in the gym. You can literally go to any sports shop or any shop really and find something you're comfortable with. There might be certain parts of your body that you might feel uncomfortable. You don't want to be on show and display, and that's totally fine. You can get maybe really long tops. You can get things that cover you up. You can get baggy trousers. As long as it's gym appropriate and you can maneuver in your outfit, comfortability comes first, okay? Also, what I will say as well is don't overspend, because it's easy to, you know, we all love retail shopping, but Lord have mercy, it can stack up, you know, it can accumulate. And don't forget, if you're going to the gym to lose weight or to gain size, the clothes you've bought may not last very long, you know, so you have to bear that in mind as well. So I wouldn't go too overboard with it. I'll buy a few clothes here and there, a few outfits, you know, look good and feel comfortable. And yeah, take it from there. All right, now the last step. This step here is what I find most people find challenging, the most challenging out of all the steps. But it can be done, you know, a lot of trial and error, but it can be done. It can be done. You just have to be consistent. So step number 5 is food, okay? So you've got your reason, you've got your plan, you've got your timetable, you've got your gym, you've got your clothes, you need your food, right? Buying food is one thing. However, there's things you need to also consider as well, right? First of all, you need to consider space, okay? So for instance, storage space and fridge space. These are things that I don't see people talk about often. I'll give you a personal example. I don't live by myself, so I don't have the whole fridge to myself. So when I'm buying food to meal prep, I have to take that into consideration, because what I don't want to do, which I've done several times, is buy food and I have nowhere to store it, and I can't eat all of that within a certain time period, so I have to waste it, okay? And what I've also done as well, in addition to that, is I've bought food and not been bothered to cook it, and it's just gone to waste. I've done that with a lot of chicken breasts, a lot. It's a joke, but whatever. So that brings me to my next point, which is you have to also be realistic as well. You tend to see people meal prepping for a week, 2 weeks. That's great. That's good. You know, it saves them a week of potentially cooking. That's great. That's fantastic. You make it all at once. You put it in your fridge. You put in your ingredients in your cupboard or wherever you store your food, and then you're ready for the week. I like that. However, you also have to think about your time and your schedule. For instance, I meal prep every 3 days, right? So when I meal prep, it's for 3 days, basically, okay? A lot of us have busy work lives. A lot of us have busy student life. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but if you're a student, you know, you might be very busy, you know, you might even be balancing a job and education as well. So it might be very hectic for you to cook as frequent, you know? So just understand when you can make food. Just be honest with yourself and give yourself sort of like a timetable of when to cook, so that you don't buy food and you waste it, you know, because what you would then do is you buy food, store it in the fridge, you've got raw chicken in the fridge, you've got raw turkey mince in the fridge, for instance. However, you don't have the energy or the time to cook it, you know, so you need to be careful, you need to be practical, you need to be realistic, you need to be committed, okay? Another thing to consider, again, is budget, okay? I know I keep mentioning this word budget, but Trust me, it's so easy to overspend. It's so easy, man. Like it racks up, man. It's so easy. I think the best thing to do is, first of all, again, when you've worked out what you want to do with yourself, with your body, work out what foods work best for you, or what food should work best for you. If you're on a calorie deficit, for instance, then you want to make sure you watch your calories. So perhaps rather than getting maybe rice, you want to change the rice for some sweet potatoes, for example. Perhaps maybe even rather than eating things like beef, you want something a bit more leaner, like some chicken breast or some turkey breast. You know, so some of these things you're not going to like, which is why I advise you to go on the supermarket website. This is what I do. Go on the supermarket website and figure out what you want to buy and all your alternatives, like for instance what I've just mentioned, and write it down on a piece of paper and set a budget. Okay, this is what I want to spend this week, and this is what I'm sticking to. Okay, that way when you go to the supermarket, you're not wandering around and putting loads of things in your basket or in your trolley, and most of these things you're going to waste or you're not going to eat. So yeah, just stick to a budget, work out what you want to buy before you go and do your shopping, and figure out what works for you. Okay, let's just run through the steps again, just to make sure that we have implemented this in our head, or just taking notes. Step number one, identifying your why and what you want to do. Okay. Step number two, research and making a plan. So again, just a simple timetable, and you can even put some exercise plans there, or pick what muscle groups you want to work on what day, or what exercises you want to do. Step number three, finding a gym. Remember, we have to think about the budget. We have to think about the locations. You want to commute, you want something local. The type of gym, budgeting, and the opening and closing time. Yeah, just what works for you, what's convenient for you. Okay. Step number four, your gym outfit. Comfortability is the priority, and don't overspend. Okay. Step number five, food. Okay, remember space. Think about your storage space, your fridge space. Think about how practical it is for you to cook. Can you meal prep every 3 days? Are you able to cook every 3 days? Does it work with your schedule? Or perhaps you may feel more comfortable with meal prepping every week. So make food every 5 days. And of course, you don't have to meal prep that much in advance. You may want to make food every day. If you want to do that, go for it. But we are just trying to remove any element of demotivation. Okay, we don't want to be demotivated. We want to start the gym and stay in the gym. That's what we want to do. I've got some quick fire tips for you as well. First fire tip is document and record your gym journey. Measure yourself, weigh yourself, and take before and after pictures. This will motivate you, especially when you start to see progression. It will motivate you. Also, it gives you a better and a clearer picture of your progression as well. You can also use those things. You can keep it personal if you want, but you can also share it with other people, and that can motivate other people as well. Another great tip is attend classes. Okay, attend gym classes. Okay, some gyms have free classes that you are able to attend as long as you're a member. So when you do find your gym, also look for those sorts of benefits. The gym I currently go to, if you're a member, you're able to go to these classes. Okay, these classes are at a set time and you can attend, and it's great because number one, you're exercising, you're learning, and number two, you get to interact with a PT as well. And I've always seen this. Once the session is done, people go up to the PT and ask questions, and normally PTs are friendly and they're helpful as well. So you can get so much information, and you're working out. Another benefit is you can meet a like-minded person and find a gym buddy. Not that that's absolutely necessary, but that might assist you and aid you in your fitness journey, in your gym journey. So bear that in mind as well. Another fire tip I'll give you as well is, if you are a little bit intimidated, shy in going into the gym, especially when it's busy, find out when the gym gets busy, find out its peak times, and find out when it gets a little bit more quiet, when it's not as busy. Again, with my gym, there's an app I can go on. It's a membership app, and I can see how many people are actually in the gym and how busy it is and how often it gets busy. I know some gyms as well, other gyms, you can actually check on Google and they tell you the peak times as well. So if it works with your schedule, find a quiet time to go to the gym, especially if you're starting off as well, and that will make you feel more comfortable. Go for it. 2 more tips and I'm done. Another tip is try to avoid annual contracts. What you don't want to do is be tied down to a contract, okay? Especially with the way the economy is going as well. You don't want to be in a situation where okay, you found a cheaper gym or something a bit more convenient for you, or actually you don't like this gym anymore for whatever reason. It's no more fulfilling your purpose for whatever reason. You want to move on to another gym. I've heard horror stories of annual contracts. Okay, I'm not against gyms giving that to people, but I personally wouldn't sign up for a gym, my first gym, and make an annual contract, because to get out of it is mission impossible, mate. I've heard horror stories, man. So try and avoid that if you can. If you can't find a gym that doesn't offer contracts, make it short term, 3 months, even 6 months. I'll do, but a whole year, I wouldn't go for that, because you might change your mind. You might want to go to another gym. This might not be sustainable for you. So bear that in mind, please. Last tip I'll give is have fun. Don't be too hard on yourself. Try and make it fun. Be committed. Try and find ways to enjoy it. When I do supersets, yeah, and I do circuit training or fat burners, I enjoy that because I'm running around and I'm sweating, and it gets intense, and I like it when it's intense. Or sometimes I may train or someone, and just feeding off each other's energy makes it more fun for me. Sometimes it can get a bit boring. It's just you're doing the same thing. It gets boring sometimes. You might want to invite this person to come with you and make it a bit more fun. You might want to join some classes. You might want to try something a bit different. Try something a bit more intense. Switch up your days a little bit. Go to a different gym. Some gyms that have multiple gyms, and if you pay a little bit extra, you can also have access to other gyms as well. So yeah, those are my steps, my 5 steps, and my fire tips. Hopefully this helps you. If you like videos like this, please comment down on the comment section. Let me know. I can make more videos like this, and I can be more in depth. But yeah, this is what my channel is going to be about. It's going to be just about fitness generally, trying to make it as diverse as possible and try and help as much as I can. So yeah, man, like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.